Hey, what's up guys? I thought I'd share my Racing Strike White Knight starter build for Season 2 video real quick. I played this insane class before, but with Warpath instead. I think that's gone. The new meta might be Bonk for the White Knight. Since this is a popular build in Tombs of the Erased, I wouldn't be surprised if you're playing something similar like this. I made a very cheap but evil item setup to just brute force endgame content and jump into monoliths right away. With that being said, let's get started. For the abilities itself, so Erasing Strike is the weight attack, of course. I have the new reworked Volatile Reversal, that's a traversal skill in close instant distances here. The way I've skilled it is it's just a double dash. Usually you travel forward, and the second combo is you travel back to your location. That's gone. The symbols stolen from the paladin and a little bit corrupted here, so they count as void damage now and give insane buffs, absolutely insane. Like every void knight I will play ever will have this shenanigans here. Can be a defense bubble if needed, or if I want to engage. I see the mob is like really nasty, maybe press the bubble first. I also have a second bubble. This one is here for cooldown reduction and things like this, because you see those orbs surrounding me. They can be modified. That's a new skill, or the skill has been reworked. When they age, they disappear, and they leave behind a void essence. I pick up a void essence, I get an insane damage buff. That's something within the passive tree. And to always have, or to have as much void essence procs as possible, I've skilled the traversal skill here, the way when I travel, they become older. Therefore they break down faster. Therefore they leave behind a void essence more frequently. That's the idea. Moving around, this stuff is all passive, all automated. What I only have to worry about is bonk, bonk. Okay, basically it. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and I wanted to explain it real quick. Let's talk about.
I cannot do that.
I did not count, but it was several. I don't know, like 8 to 10, 7, 8, 9, 10 bonks. I can shit out in a row, and it results in a lot of damage. And real basic gear, and that's the idea behind the build. Jump right into endgame. The build revolves around actually one item. Shadow Beacon. That's all it takes. If you find this during campaign, GG, bro. Absolutely GG. Can roll 1 or 2 to void skills. If I would trade for 1, I wouldn't care much about the damage rolls, but for the plus skills, reach important also in the skill tree. More about that in a second. To get massive crit chance without having good crit chance rolls anywhere, I use Peak of the Mountain, the level 12 helm. Can drop in Lightless Arbor. It's a dungeon. I think tier 2 is enough. Other than that, one with no IP would cost nothing other than reputation, I think, on the Bazaar. It's all offense. I needed one item defense. I threw in a Titan Heart. Sit at around 2k HP. I have insane endurance of 60%. The most important one, I'd say, Shadow Beacon, Peak of the Mountain, maybe Fighting Chance for just a massive increased melee damage. Those three are absolutely carrying. I threw in Locket of the Forgotten Knight. It's a set amulet. The whole set is bad for the build, at least. The shield and the one-hand sword. But I see the biggest numbers with this one. Biggest damage numbers. Mana regen, preferably on the rings. Big one on the belt. Those boots have just 40% increased void damage and melee void. The class relic for the plus skill. I maxed out Juggernaut. 7 into Relentlessness. And I maxed out Armorclad. Because of damage taken from nearby enemies. Reduction. Then, of course, I mentioned previously, you need to steal an ability from the Paladin here. So I put 15 points to that skill tree, unlock the symbols. Then the Void Knight. So let's skip right to this one. Mortal Cleave. This ability is nuts, and it's new in the skill tree, and the reason why I wanted to as the Void Knight, and when I hit an enemy, the enemy the enemy HP falls below 35%. This kicks in for 8 seconds. And it's an insane damage buff. So I bonk them once. If they are not already decimated, this kicks in. And play this the second bonk. Here's the deal, you know what I mean? It's so crazy, it's so much damage. Other than that, I mentioned here I leave behind the Void Essences, Mana Regen from Future Mind, crazy Void Pen, crazy amount, a very important stat. This is these 8 points, 8 out of 8 makes it Nuki. Nice yellow numbers. This plus the Mount Peakenham, Peak of the Mountainham, Woe plus Peak of the Mountainham. That's what it makes it Nuki. Singular purpose for flat void damage. What else do we have here? This one is nice. Chance to absorb health on kill. Void blades, I maxed it out, as well as temporary corruption for this plus flat void damage. I think that's a really good stat with melee in general. Just added flat damage. Void corruption is also strong. I think this is a little bit reworked as well. If not even, maybe that's completely new. I don't remember. But yeah, I get crit multiplier per point spent in the Void Knight. This one, yeah, void damage with 2-hand mace, 60%. Implements of destruction. The names of these passives as well. Erasure of the living. Gives a threshold of 10% and 50% damage. There's a little trap. This one also gives 10% threshold, but it would only give 40% increased melee void damage. So either or, you want the 10% in the build. Sadly, this only counts for melee, so it does not count for the bubbles. Not worth it, I think. From testing, I have the threshold within the Erasing Strike skill tree here. Boom. Then this one, Ruthless, is important. Erasing Strike deals more damage to enemies at full health. And they get hit so hard that they just disappear. But this one is important. Shattered Continuity. It has no cooldown. Usually this has maybe one, you can get up to 2 charges, I think. Now it has no cooldown. Now it's not, this means hammer time. Chamber of Fate, slow chance. It's a good multiplier. I was debating if I should max out this or put those points just in obliteration. Other than that, 2 into Prophet's Onslaught just to unlock this one, crit multi, to really make sure no matter what I'm at 3 void essences. You know what I mean? So this procs it and the passive proc. And I have a chance to spawn them when I hit the boss and so on. Other than that, yeah, the aura, the bubbles can be modified to your liking. You can make them in a larger area. They can grow in a larger area or a bigger radius. Me, in my case, I have this one. So again, I spawn more bubbles and Cosmic Impact. Also, now they deal damage on impact. There's so much void damage in the build. Why not? Right? I would have given away, this one point, I would give away so much DPS. I think that's alright. I'm in their face all the time. It's circled by these orbs, and they deal a little bit of damage. I also have Rotting Prey here. It debuffs the mobs. They plagued with frailty. So I have almost 100% uptime on this bubble, even with crap gear. And the clue about it is, if I walk around with this bubble, I have cooldown recovery. That means I can spam the traversal skill more. It makes it super fast to farm those monoliths. It's a highly synergistic setup. These skills in combination with my passive skill tree, like I tweaked this a lot. As I mentioned in the beginning, it was a little bit clunky when I started putting the build together, and now it's really in a good spot. Now it's in a really good spot. Yeah, Symbols of Hope, the Stolen Paladin ability turned into a Void skill with Symbols of Despair. And look at this buff, man. It's first of all, it's 4 symbols, and the buff is per symbol. Damage granted per active symbol, 25%. Crit per symbol. Increased mana regen per symbol. Like what? And I don't even have to press this, you know.